to komando.com/getfreetips. That's komando.com/getfreetips. Okay, we all know that losing someone you love, it can be just earth-shattering when they pass. You do everything you can to keep their memories alive, and you want to share special anecdotes and sayings and things with your family members and friends. But you're limited, right, in what you can do. I mean, you have a few lines on a gravesite that doesn't say anything. It just says their birth date and their death date, and that's about it. When you look at it, you're like, wow, this person did so much more in life, and how can I tell the whole world about them? Well, that's when I thought this was so incredibly interesting that I just wanted to pass it along to you guys and gals. There's a guy by the name of Michael Bourque, and he found a way to change all this. When his father passed away back in 2017, he wanted to honor him in a special way. His father was a vet, a carpenter, of course, a father and a great husband. Mike had so many stories to share, and he didn't want them to be forgotten. So that's when he came up with this innovative, wonderful idea. He thought to himself, why not create a website that showcases his dad's life and create a QR code that connects to that site? You know, those QR codes. And then affix that QR code to a gravestone. So anybody who's walking by, they can say, hey, I wonder what this person's about. It's so fabulous. What a great idea. So joining us today on the Kim Komando Show is inventor Michael Bourque to share his story. Michael, it's so great to meet you. I'm so glad that you're here with us. First of all, tell us a little bit about your dad.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such a thrill to be on your show, Kim. I've been a fan of your show for years, and in fact, I've helped my dad learn how to use the computer from listening to your show. So kind of a way it comes all back. But yeah, my dad was a carpenter, a simple man, but he was in many ways a genius. He was too cheap and poor to hire anybody to fix the house, so it was my job to hold the flashlight as we fixed everything around the house. When something broke in our house, we made a new one out of wood. And it's just a wonderful way to celebrate his life and his story, as you just told, through this QR code. In fact, it was at one point when I started my own company, my dad helped me put the company together, and it was a 3-year journey, but he passed away during that time. As you mentioned, and I thought, gee, would it be interesting if I could put a way to memorize him? So I bought his domain name for 20 years for life from GoDaddy, which is kind of ironic. And I printed a QR code out of plastic. I had a 3D printer and I had skills, and so I made a plastic that was actually glows in the dark. It's printed out of an ABS material. And I fixed it to his gravesite. And anybody that could go to his website could scan that and see his story and be connected. And I decided that I would share this on my social media. And that post has gone viral. Over 2.5 million people around the world have scanned that QR code. And in fact, because I've connected it with Google Analytics, something else I learned from you, Kim, I know where everybody in the world who has scanned that QR code. And he would be thrilled to know that several people in Korea, where he fought as a very brave veteran, scanned it there. So it's just it's very interesting. And now I found you.
Well, when I was very close to my mom, and maybe you know that from listening to the show. And when she died, I was just, beside myself. Even I break down still. But I thought, when I saw your story, I thought oh my gosh, I would so love to do this, because you're right. Like when you see, it's not just your parents, you see anybody's gravestone, and it has their name and a birth date and the day that they died. And you sit there like, wow, there was just so much more to this individual than just that. And and then when you walk away and you think, and you go there and you visit afterwards or whatever, it's still like I just wish the whole world would know how wonderful that she was. And so you put this on just for your dad. Did you think it would turn into what it did?
No, I never thought it would turn into. In fact, I think what I did was quite simple, but it's just one of those things that maybe no one ever thought of. I'll say it like this, it's not often you find yourself in a graveyard until you've lost someone. And you're walking around and you are wondering, who are these people? Why is this gravestone bigger than the other? How come I can't read this one? Boy, I wish I knew more about these people. And so I'm telling you, if I saw a QR code in a graveyard, I'm going to scan it. And I think if more graveyards had QR codes, boy, that could be a very interesting way to tell stories and get people connected. We think we're building a platform that's going to be very, very innovative and very, very exciting. And why don't we make a QR code for your mom? Let's do it.
You know what? Let's do it.
It's easy. Let's do it. And then let's show everybody.
Yeah, let's do that.
You know?
Absolutely. 100%, Michael. Let's do that. Thanks for telling your story, and congratulations on your pending success. I'm sure you're going to knock it out of the ballpark. And I think it's really fascinating that we first met through your dad, and your dad is once again bringing us together.
That is true. That is true. And my dad, he could never figure out computers. I was always trying to teach him left click, right click, double click. And you know what that's like. But you really out there helping people. So I'm so proud that I found you this way. And like you said, through my dad, and that we have this connection, because I've been listening to you since I was a kid. So, I don't know, it's full circle for me, and I hope to come back on one day and let's show people how we created your QR code. Maybe we do this together.
I'd love to do that.
Let's get Shark Tank and go right to the top. My dad used to say, this is one of those products that people are dying to use.
Put-em-bump. And they are. All right. Thanks for being here, Mike.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, Kim.
Hey, in case you want to hear more of Michael's interview, make sure that you get our podcast, Kim Komando Today. Wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a K. And if you would be so kind that if you listen to our podcast, make sure that you give us a great 5-star review, because that helps more people